I never believed I can be a walking corpse until April this year, when I found out that my child was molested. I couldn't tell anyone. And I called Larry, and Larry was sick. I've never seen my brother cry in my life. Larry was crying, and he told me, "You will get him." And on days that Larry was so sick, he couldn't talk, I would call him because I couldn't sleep. And he would tell me to keep talking. I'm listening. And the doctors would come in and say, "Who are you talking to again on video?" And I would say, "Princess." And he sent me a message and said to me, "I'm calm," and said to me, "When I get back home, don't worry, to be sorted." And I can't forget when I sent Larry a message that I think my life has ended because some powerful people have taken over. He responded and said to me, "Don't worry, let them do all they want. We'll get to the root of this. I'm sure. Please, please." And what shocked me is, even while I was thinking, please, you have to note this. People will come here and tell you stuff about Larry, but take note. Everything they are saying, there is an underlying factor. The factor is, just as Larry was with me, he was also with them. Where did he get the strength? How can you be sick and be taking care of people that are well and healthy? You people have to look at everybody that is here. Larry was not a normal human being. I don't care what you say. Every time you sit down at home, that's why I keep telling Auntie and his wife, how can you say this person is normal? He was sick. He was taking care of me, his wife, his kids, his other friends, his family. When he couldn't talk anymore, he was still taking care of us. Larry was almost perfect. I just don't want us to cry, because my mom and all the other elders have been saying we should stop crying. I want to also tell everybody, let's not cry. Because like my sister said, today is not our day of cry. We are still going to cry. I'm going to cry on the day I get better and I don't see Larry. I'm going to cry on the day we get to the end of this case and we either win or lose. I am going to cry every morning I look at his children this one. I'm going to cry every time there's Ijesha, because everybody would complain that, "Princess, you have a horrible dress sense." And I will say, "Madam Olo, you are okay, you are perfect." And because of him, I would make sure that on Ijesha day, I will go and get a new attire, just because. So I don't want us to cry. But please, let's remember what he stood for. He was not tired of giving. He didn't get tired of loving us, even at the point of death. I know he's resting in peace. I know he's resting with God. And I just want to say a prayer that I don't know everybody here, but that we don't get to mourn ourselves, that we don't lose people who have been sent to our midst to make us better people.
I am sad
because Larry was so accommodating. And I remember when we were growing up and my mom and his late mom would scold me for being a talkative. Larry's defense was always, you can't say she's a talkative because she's not talking to herself. She's talking to someone, she's talking to me. And even Auntie me, the older ones, when they would try to scold me, Larry would not have it. And as the years went by, I went into acting and dancing. He was doing music. People would tell us, meaning if you have a group of 20 kids as friends, they can't be friends forever. So I knew that along the line we were going to grow apart. That's why I believed. It never happened. There were times, I remember I had a show at Muson. Self and Two-Face were supposed to be the main act. Two-Face got there very early. Sultan was not there and I called him, Larry, you are late. And he asked me, Nibolowa. And I was angry. I was like, how can you ask me where I am at this time? And he like, oh, there, I was like, I don't know, I don't care how angry you are at Larry. He will just call me out there, and even when I'm mad at someone else and I tell him, oh, went for an event, this person, he'll be like, oh, there, Matalo, Wajari, you always just change the topic to something. And when we suffered some losses in the family, and I would continue crying and everything, he would still say, Kiloshele. Some people have it worse than also. And when we left Satellites, when we moved away from there, he didn't see himself as superstar. Anytime I was with Larry, I was at home. Everything I've done in my life, Larry has always been there. I've had people on Instagram in the last 1 week insulting me, some cursing me out. They said I was posting too much pictures and videos about him. And somebody said, leave her. And I said to myself, do they even know that this is just a 10th? Because when I opened my album from when I was growing up, there's hardly, even when I didn't know it was in the back, it was there. When I believed I was a failure, Larry was standing with me. When I believed I was a failure, he said to me, he stood by me and he called me and said, let me come to your house, let's talk about the way forward. And Larry made sure, if you watch, I watched most of his videos, I was in it. And the ones that I didn't even feature in, I was there cooking, serving food. He would just not let me be a failure. He would just let me think less of myself. And the last 3 years has been extremely traumatizing for me. And Larry calls me up for Jungle Story, and we are working weeks here doing shows, and he doesn't want me to cry, and he's telling me you have to go out there every night. And April this year,